Welcome to the Damascus School Virtual Veterans Day program for 2020. As our school community continues to navigate the COVID-19 pandemic, we still come together today to honor the bravery and sacrifice of all United States veterans. Damascus School has a long tradition of honoring our local veterans on Veterans Day. Over the past 12 years, our school community has honored many local veterans, including Vincent Conroy, Paul Edwards, Karen Nyberg, Jacob Watson, Dave Soden, Ed Justice, Eric Johannes, PA State Trooper Brian Dixon, General Dan O'Neill, Jessica Patzik, Robert Dexter, Mike Evans, Bernie Belknap, Lloyd Edwards, Robert Gross, Carl Bell, David Spry, Bernie Southerton, and Brian Venny. These men and women are just a few of our many proud local veterans who willingly answered the call to protect our freedoms by serving in the armed services. Our school community has also donated thousands of dollars to many veteran organizations. Among them are the Wounded Warrior Project, the Damascus Memorial Fund, the Damascus School Flagpole Rededication Project, the Troopers Helping Troopers Foundation, the Wayne County Walk of Honor, St. Francis Commons in Scranton, and the Wayne County Honoring Heroes Banner Program. Although this program will look different than it normally does, the essential message to our veterans will be the same as always was and will be. Thank you to all our local veterans. We appreciate your dedication and service to our country and community. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
President Obama made the following remarks at the Veterans Day National Ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery on November 11, 2016. Today, on Veterans Day, we honor those who honored our country with its highest form of service. You who once wore the uniform of our Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, or Coast Guard. We owe you our thanks, we owe you our respect, and we owe you our freedom. We come together to express our profound gratitude for the sacrifices and contributions you and your family made on the battlefield. at home, and at outposts around the world. But America's gratitude to our veterans is something always grounded in something greater than what you did on duty. It's also an appreciation of the example that you continue to set after your service has ended, your example as citizens. Veterans Day often follows a hard-fought political campaign, an exercise in the free speech and self-government that you fought for. It often lays bare disagreements across our nation. But the American instinct has never been to find isolation in opposite corners. It is to find strength in our common creed, towards unity from our great diversity. To sustain that strength and unity even when it is hard. And when the election is over, as we search for ways to come together, to reconnect with one another, and with the principles that are more enduring than transitory politics, some of our best examples are the men and women we salute on Veterans Day. It's the example of young Americans, our 9/11 generation, who as first responders ran into smoldering towers, then ran to a recruiting center and signed up to serve. It's the example of a military that meets every mission, one united team, all looking out for one another, all getting each other's backs. It's the example of the single most diverse institution in our country, soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen, who represent every corner of our country, every shade of humanity, immigrant and native-born, Christian, Muslim, Jew, and non-believer alike, all forged into common service. It's the example of veterans, patriots, who when they take off their fatigues, look back on the camouflage of everyday life in America and become our business partners and bosses, our teachers and our coaches, our first responders, city council members, community leaders, role models, all still serving this country love with the same sense of duty and with valor. On Veterans Day, we acknowledge humbly that we can never serve our veterans in quite the same way that they served us, but we can try. We can practice kindness, we can pay it forward, we can volunteer, we can serve, we can respect one another, and we can always get each other's backs. This is what Veterans Day asks all of us to think about. The person you pass and you walk down the street might not be wearing our nation's uniform today. But consider for a moment that a year or a decade or a generation ago, he or she might have been one of our fellow citizens who was willing to lay down their life for strangers like us. And we can show how much we love our country by loving our neighbors as ourselves. May God bless all who serve and still do, and may God bless the United States of America. Under the guidance of Mr. Jagger, Mr. Glaskowitz, and our teachers, the students of Damascus School organized and planned the following activities to honor our local veterans. We hope you enjoy the program.
A brief history of Veterans Day. Veterans Day gives Americans the opportunity to celebrate the bravery and sacrifice of all U.S. veterans. However, most Americans confuse this holiday with Memorial Day, reports the Department of Veterans Affairs. What's more, some Americans don't know why we commemorate our veterans on November 11th. It's imperative that all Americans know the history of Veterans Day so that we can honor our former service members properly. Veterans Day, formerly known as Armistice Day, was originally set as a U.S. legal holiday to honor the end of World War I, which officially took place on November 11, 1918. In legislation that was passed in 1938, November 11th was dedicated to the cause of world peace and hereafter celebrated and known as Armistice Day. As such, this new legal holiday honored World War I veterans. In 1954, after having been through both World War II and the Korean War, the 83rd U.S. Congress, at the urging of veteran service organizations, amended the Act of 1938 by striking out the word armistice and inserting the word veterans. With the approval of this legislation on June 1, 1954, November 11th became a day to honor all U.S. veterans of all wars. In 1968, the Uniforms Holiday Bill ensured 3-day weekends for federal employees by celebrating 4 national holidays on Mondays: Washington's birthday, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and Columbus Day. Under this bill, Veterans Day was moved to the 4th Monday of October. Many states did not agree with this decision and continued to celebrate the holiday on its original date. The first Veterans Day, under new law, was observed with much confusion on October 25, 1971. Finally, on September 20, 1975, President Gerald R. Ford signed a law which returned the annual observation of Veterans Day to its original date of November 11th, beginning in 1978. Since then, the Veterans Day holiday has been observed on November 11th.
We would like to share a few videos made previously on DTV interviewing local veterans.
Hi, my name is Rachel.
Hello, Rachel.
Thank you for joining us here at DTV for an interview.
I'm very pleased to be here.
I think it's really important that we get to know our veterans and how they served our country.
Well, thank you.
So what's your name and where did you serve?
My name is Vince Conroy. I served in the United States Army from 1966 to 1970, and I served 2 tours in Vietnam.
Nice. Where do you currently live now?
I live in Tyler Hill, Pennsylvania.
What was your assignment there?
I was a linguist. I spoke Vietnamese, so I was an interpreter.
Well, that's cool. How did your military experiences make you appreciate our country and what we have today?
Oh, in a lot of ways. First of all, it allowed me to use the GI Bill to go to college, and I used that education to become a teacher. So it really kind of shaped my life. So I'm very appreciative of that.
So you're happy you joined the military?
Yes, I am, actually.
Do you think this is a good career choice for kids nowadays?
I would think so. Yeah, I think, especially given the employment situation today, it's another option, and they can learn some skills that otherwise they might miss out on.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
Hi, I'm Janie Murphy, and I'm interviewing a local veteran. What is your name, and where do you currently live?
My name is Robert Gross, and I live in Tyler Hill,
What branch of the military did you serve in?
United States Army,
What years did you serve?
from 63 to 66.
And where did you serve?
I was first went to Korea, and I was in military police, and we sent the first Korean troops over to Vietnam from Korea, and the North Koreans said that ship would never leave our harbor, so we used to have frogmen underneath the ship and then patrolling the ship and around the outside, but we had no trouble.
What was your assignment?
Just regular military police duties,
Okay.
guarding the post and the town itself.
How did your military experiences affect how you appreciate your country?
Well, I was brought up by a Marine, and he came to this country, my dad, as a young boy, and my mother's people came here in the late 1600s to Pennsylvania, and we served in every war and almost every battle, from the Revolutionary War. With Civil War, we had eight of her uncles served, and one had 2 of his sons with them. We had the largest family enlistment in the Civil War. And it's been something where my dad said it long before Kennedy, this country doesn't owe you anything. You owe it, and don't ever forget it.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for serving our country.
Well, I thank you for having me.
Hi, I'm Nicole Frameth, and I'm interviewing a veteran. What is your name and where do you currently live?
I'm Bob Dexter. I live in Damascus Township on Atco Road, Beach Lake.
What branch of the military did you serve?
Navy.
What years did you serve and where did you serve?
I enlisted in November of 1944 and I got discharged in 1948, and I enlisted to fight for our country.
What was your assignment?
I was on a couple different ships. I ended up on the battleship Missouri. It was a floating city, really. It was 1,300 men on there. I was used to small ships. It was more fun on them. You knew everybody. Everybody was your friend. The battleship Missouri was a little different.
How did your military experiences make you appreciate your country?
It's a great experience. Everyone should have that experience being in the service. I think it should be mandatory that everyone serve 2 years in the service. It's a great experience.
Well, thank you for coming and thank you for serving our country.
Well, thank you, and you have a good day.
You too.
I'm Dennis Kutcher. I'm going to be doing an interview. What's your name and where do you currently live?
Carl Bell. I live over in Boyd's Mill.
What branch of the military were you in?
I was in the Army Air Force.
What years did you serve and where?
1943 to 46, and I served in the South Pacific. I enlisted when my senior year in high school, and I was 17, and I went through the cadet training program for the Air Corps, and ended up as a bombardier. Well, I was the one that dropped the bombs. I did the dirty work.
How did your military experiences make you appreciate your country?
Oh, you don't realize how blessed we are until you're over in a third world country and see the poverty and what goes on. We're so fortunate to live in this great country of ours. I taught here from 1950 to 1985, 35 years.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Started, there was 6 one-room schools in the area when I started teaching, and the students came in here to this not this building, but the older building here, when they were in 7th grade, 7th and 8th through 12.
Thank you, sir, for coming
You're
here.
welcome, Dennis. It's nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you, too.
What type of airplane is this?
That's a B-24 Liberator.
Oh, what part of this airplane did you serve in?
I served up in here
What
in the bombardier compartment.
Oh,
There was 10-man crew. There was a pilot and a co-pilot and the navigator sit in here, and the bombardier and the nose gunner here, the Martin upper turret gunner, and the radio operator was in here as well. And then this was the tail gunner, and the Sperry ball gunner was down here. We had 10 50 caliber machine guns.
did you have a nickname for this airplane?
Well, yeah, this is the red-headed woman. We flew in that plane a lot.
And so you were a bomber
Bombardier.
inside the plane?
Bombardier. If I can pick this up, I'll show you. These are the bomb bays, the front bomb bay on each side and one here. And there's a catwalk. Do you know what a catwalk is?
No.
Catwalk is a narrow, well, it's like an I-beam, steel I-beam. It's about that wide. And to get from the back of the plane here to the front, you had to pass through the bomb bays.
So you had to walk?
You
on
had
that?
to walk, and there was a partition, a door you could go through. It was made of aluminum alloy, and another one at the other side, so that when the bomb bays were open, you know, the wind wouldn't sweep through to the crews in the back or the front. But if you were going, like on takeoffs, the nose gunner and I, we were back here. And then we had to go up through, we had chest pack parachutes, and we'd take that and we'd have to carry them. I had a handle on it, and go sideways through the bomb bay to get up front. And then there was a little crawl space under the co-pilot, and we crawled in there, and then of course the gunner would get up in his turret, and I would get in my position here.
Well, thank you for coming and visiting Damascus.
Well, it's my pleasure.
And thank you for what you've done for our country.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Students in 8th grade social studies classes worked on patriotic song projects during the first marking period. Each student was expected to locate and research an American patriotic song of his or her choice. Each poster included the lyrics, history, and a picture of the artist. In addition, each student had to share the song in class. All of the posters are hanging in the middle school hallway. We would like to share a few with you today.
God Bless the USA is an American patriotic song written and recorded by country music artist Lee Greenwood and is considered to be his signature song. It reached number 7 on the Billboard magazine Hot Country Singles chart when it originally released in the spring of 1984, and it was played at the 1984 Republican National Convention with President Ronald Reagan and his First Lady Nancy Reagan in attendance. The song gained greater prominence during the Gulf War in 1990 and 1991 as a way of boosting its morale. The popularity of the song rose sharply after September 11th attacks in 2001 and during the 2003 invasion of Iraq. In the song, an unnamed man sings about how if he were to lose everything he had and then start again from scratch, he would do it in the USA because he is guaranteed freedom in America. He remembers how other Americans in history had died to secure this freedom, and declares that if he were ever called upon to defeat in the USA, he would gladly stand up and fight because he loves this country. The version you will hear today is performed by an American a cappella group called Home Free. Home Free consists of 5 vocalists: Austin Brown, Rob Lundquist, Adam Rupp, and Tim Faust and Adam Chance. This version includes the United States Air Force Band. We hope you enjoy the video.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA.
From the lakes of Minnesota
to the hills of Tennessee,
across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea,
from Detroit down to Houston,
and New York to LA,
where there's pride in every American heart,
and it's time we stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'd gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless this country. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless, please bless you.
In an all-school writing assignment, each student is asked to write a thank you to a veteran or to share about a veteran, which becomes part of our Veterans Day displays throughout the building. This gives many students and their families a chance to talk about, reminisce, and even reconnect with family members or friends who have served. Some students talk to a neighbor and learn about their service. a few students read their thank you at our assembly. After the public assembly, our veterans, speakers, and all guests are invited to walk to the cafeteria where they will see the displays and writings along the way. Refreshments are provided by the PTA and served by the student council, and many can talk to a veteran and thank them personally. The Damascus students did not want to miss saying thank you this year to our veterans.
Thank you for your service. First grade thanks all veterans. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. Third grade thanks all veterans. Thank you, veterans. Fourth grade thanks you for your service. Fourth grade thanks you for your service. Thank you for your service. Fifth grade thanks you for your service. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. Thank you for serving. Thank you to all veterans. Thank you for your service. Damascus School appreciates all veterans. Oh, beautiful for spacious sky, for amber waves of rain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crowned you with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for pilgrim feet in stormy ocean stress, a thoroughfare for freedom beat across the wilderness. America, America, my land where every flaw comes from your soul and self-control, that liberty and love. Oh, beautiful for heroes true in liberating strife, who more than self their country love, and mercy more than life. America, America, may God glorify, till all success be noble rest, and everything divine. Oh, beautiful for patriots that sees beyond the years, the alabaster cities lean, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crowned thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
The Freedom Flag.
In the classroom at his school, a young boy spoke with such respect. I pledge allegiance to the flag. These words to him had much effect. His eyes upon these stars and stripes, across his heart his right hand lay. A silent reverence filled the air, a soldier he would be someday. Every day for 13 years he watched that flag, he knew her pledge. He learned her history, he felt her strength. To those who threatened her, he vowed revenge. Then as a man he signed his papers, packed his bags, and hugged his mother. He shook Dad's hand and off he went. That flag was waving like no other. Line him up nice and straight, yes sir, no sir, and salute. Times were hard and he grew tired. But then he'd look up to the sky, and there she'd be, the flag he admired. A soldier I'll make you, his captain would yell. Push-ups he hated, but stronger he grew. So down he would drop from 50 once more. That flag still flying would get him through. All too soon those orders they came. Off to war he was to go. The time was now, he'd defend his flag. He thought of heroes from long ago. Blood was shed on foreign lands. Others fought on common ground. Lives were lost, he knew this well, for this flag flown all around. Death and destruction all seen him war. He lost many men under enemy fire. Through his grief he sought her out, and then he would find her, his flag flying higher. Then in a second his whole life changed. It was bad, he knew. There was no pain. But as he looked to the rainy skies, he smiled. The flag above him caught the rain. With final breath he bowed his head. The sight of war, too much to see. He closed his eyes, began to pray. Forever free, please let them be. Taps is playing in the rain. Friends and family gather round. Soldiers standing at attention, lifting their guns up from the ground. Shots are fired, a fierce reminder of the price a hero paid. They fold the flag, providing cover to the one who wasn't afraid. In the midst of all the sorrow, a flag remains to fly, a symbol of all those heroes who weren't afraid to die.
There's a school we love that lies above the deep blue, yellow, red. It has always been and will always be a true friend that's beyond compare. Through the years and years, and joys and tears, she has stood up brave and tall. Here with the yes, we will cheer and bless, for we love you one and all.
The story of taps. Of all the military bugle calls, none is so easily recognized or more apt to render emotion than taps. Up to the Civil War, the traditional call at day's end was a tune borrowed from the French called Lights Out. In July of 1862, in the aftermath of the bloody 7 Days battles, hard on the loss of 600 men and Woodland himself, Union General Daniel Adams Butterfield called the brigade bugler to his tent. He thought Lights Out was too formal, and he wished to honor his men. Oliver Wilcox Norton, the bugler, tells the story. Showing me some notes on a staff written in pencil on the back of an envelope, he asked me to sound them on my bugle. I did this several times, playing the music as written. He changed it somewhat, lengthening some notes and shortening others, but retaining the melody as he first gave it to me. After getting it to his satisfaction, he directed me to sound that call for taps thereafter in place of the regulation call. The music was beautiful on that still summer night and was heard far beyond the limits of our brigade. The next day, I was visited by several buglers from neighboring brigades asking for copies of the music, which I gladly furnished. The call was gradually taken up through the Army of the Potomac. This more emotional and powerful taps was soon adopted throughout the military. In 1874, it was officially recognized by the U.S. Army. At this time, Mr. Gallo will play taps and Student Council will retire the flag.